What if I told you the Philippines is now beating its Asian neighbors in car production growth? Yeah, sounds unbelievable, right? Because not too long ago, headlines were saying the exact opposite. Reports showed the Philippines lagging behind Southeast Asia, even recording one of the steepest production declines in the region. So how do you go from falling behind to suddenly leading the race? Well, buckle up, because this is where things get interesting. The same country once known for importing most of its vehicles, the same place where traffic jams feel longer than the roads themselves, is now accelerating past regional giants and emerging as the fastest-growing automotive player in ASEAN. And no, this isn't hype. It's happening. Right now. For years, the Philippines was like the quiet student in a room full of overachievers. While countries like Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia dominated the spotlight with massive factories and export numbers, the Philippines stayed in the background. Thailand proudly wore the title Detroit of Asia. Indonesia became a manufacturing giant. Malaysia and Vietnam pushed their own car brands onto the global stage. And the Philippines? It had jeepneys, iconic, colorful, and deeply cultural, but far from dominating global car production. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. While everyone else was busy flexing, the Philippines was quietly rebuilding itself behind the scenes, strengthening its capabilities, expanding its reach, preparing for something bigger. And now, that quiet player just hit the accelerator. Recent figures show vehicle production in the Philippines surging at an incredible rate, over 30% growth. Meanwhile, some neighboring countries are slowing down, or even slipping backward. This isn't just progress, this is a breakout moment. And it didn't happen overnight. Behind this sudden rise is a transformation that's been building momentum for years, layer by layer, decision by decision. Let's start with the heavy hitters. Global automotive giants aren't just testing the waters in the Philippines anymore. They're going all in. Take Toyota. What used to be just another production site has evolved into a major manufacturing hub. In Santa Rosa, Laguna, vehicles like the Vios, Innova, and Light Ace are no longer just imported models. They're built locally, rolled out fresh from production lines with precision and scale. This isn't simple assembly work. This is full-scale manufacturing, and it's putting the Philippines firmly on the global automotive map. But Toyota isn't alone. Mitsubishi is right there, pushing just as hard. Its operations in the country are running at full speed, producing models like the Mirage hatchback, Mirage G4, and the ever-reliable L300. These aren't just made for local streets anymore. They're designed with international markets in mind, which means something important is changing. The label, Made in the Philippines, is no longer rare in the auto industry. It's becoming a mark of trust. And then there's Nissan, once quiet, now making a strong comeback. Its facility in Santa Rosa is producing the Almera sedan entirely within the country, competing directly with units made in long-established manufacturing hubs like Japan and Thailand. Think about that for a second. The Philippines isn't just assembling parts anymore. It's competing head-to-head with the best in the region. It's like the country is saying, "You thought we were just here to help? Think again." But here's the real secret behind all this momentum. It's not just the companies, it's the system supporting them. Because for once, the strategy is actually working. Government policies that once sounded like empty promises are now turning into real, tangible results. Tax incentives, industrial zones, and infrastructure upgrades are starting to do exactly what they were meant to do: attract investment. And not just small investments, big ones. Foreign automakers aren't hesitating anymore. They're expanding operations, increasing capacity, and placing long-term bets on the Philippines as a serious manufacturing destination. And the numbers? They're starting to tell a powerful story. Production, once modest, is now climbing fast, year after year, breaking past previous limits and setting new expectations. This isn't a slow comeback. This is a full-throttle acceleration. And just when it looks impressive, it's only getting started. Now here's where things go from impressive to downright explosive. Because it's not just production that's rising. Demand inside the Philippines is booming too. In recent years, car sales have surged into the hundreds of thousands, and they're still climbing. More Filipinos are buying vehicles than ever before, creating a powerful cycle. Higher demand fuels more production, and more production strengthens the entire industry. It's the perfect storm. Factories are ramping up, showrooms are getting busier, and the automotive sector is shifting from idle to overdrive. But wait, this isn't just about cars. There's another lane in this race that's accelerating just as fast. Two wheels. Motorcycles and scooters are exploding in popularity, with production numbers reaching into the hundreds of thousands, and sales crossing well over 1 million units. That's a massive signal. The Philippines isn't just catching up in one category, it's expanding across the entire mobility market. And this is the point where most people stop and ask, how did this even happen? Because for decades, the idea of the Philippines becoming a manufacturing powerhouse felt almost impossible, like imagining a traffic-free rush hour in Metro Manila. But today, that reality is starting to shift. The country isn't just building vehicles, it's building momentum. And for the first time in a long time, it's not trailing behind its neighbors. It's setting the pace. But here's the real twist, the part most people haven't fully realized yet. This isn't the peak, not even close. What's happening right now is just the beginning of something much bigger, because the goal isn't just to produce more vehicles. It's to become a major export hub, and suddenly, the Philippines is in the perfect position to do it. Global supply chains are shifting. Manufacturers are looking for new bases in Southeast Asia, and the Philippines is ticking all the right boxes: strategic location, improving infrastructure, competitive labor, and policies that are finally attracting serious investment. The question is no longer, why build here? It's quickly becoming, why aren't we already building here? And then comes the next frontier, electric vehicles. As the global auto industry pivots toward cleaner technology, the Philippines is stepping into the conversation. Plans are already taking shape to support EV production, from assembling vehicles to potentially manufacturing key components like batteries. At the same time, local demand for electric options is growing, which means the country isn't just preparing to produce EVs, it's preparing to use them. Imagine this. Factories that once focused on traditional vehicles now evolving into hubs for electric SUVs, modern transport systems powered by clean energy, and vehicles built locally being shipped across Asia. That future? It's closer than most people think. Even the country's most iconic symbol, the jeepney, is being reimagined. Once known for its rugged, improvised design, it's now being transformed into a modern, electric vehicle that could eventually find its way beyond Philippine streets. It's more than just an upgrade. It's a symbol of transformation. Old meets new, tradition meets innovation. And together they're driving the country forward. But the impact goes far beyond transportation. More factories mean more jobs, more supply chains, more money flowing into local industries. And as momentum builds, it attracts even more investors looking to be part of the growth. It's a ripple effect, one that's turning the Philippines from an overlooked player into a destination. Of course, the journey isn't perfect. Imports still dominate much of the market. Infrastructure still has room to improve. And competitors like Thailand and Indonesia aren't stepping aside anytime soon. This race is far from over, but something has changed. For the first time in decades, the Philippines isn't chasing the pack. It's leading, and once you take the lead, everything shifts. Because this story isn't just about cars, it's about ambition. It's about a country proving it can reinvent itself, breaking expectations and stepping into a role no one saw coming. Every new factory, every locally built vehicle, every expansion, they're all pieces of a much bigger picture, a nation that's no longer sitting in the passenger seat, but firmly behind the wheel accelerating into the future. And if you think this is where it peaks, think again. This story is just getting started.